Right, very interesting. An article in the New York Sun, I guess it was yesterday, Ukraine's military may be tightening the noose around Crimea, which the Russians took over years ago. Anyway, joining us now, welcome Montana Senator Mr. Tim Sheehy, member of the Senate Armed Services Committee, and a great American patriot. And thank you for your service, Senator Sheehy, in the Senate and in the military. So, well, I don't know if you plugged in, but I mean, is Russia really winning the Ukraine war? And I'm reading about it. It's not just the New York Sun, and I saw it someplace else this morning in some other media area. The Ukraine is inflicting great punishment on Russia in the Crimea down south, Sevastopol. The bridges, the city is not operating. That's a key link for the Russians, right? Is it possible that the tide is turning there?
Well, home court advantage is a real thing, Larry, and the Ukrainians have shown that it's really hard to push people out of their homeland. And they have innovated from USVs, unmanned surface vessels, to unmanned underwater vehicles, to, of course, drones themselves, to really wreak havoc on the Russian military. The Russian military was not prepared for this kind of battlefield formation, which is, unmanned automated vehicles from every direction that are, in many cases, independently controlled, or in some cases, totally automated. So they're putting the squeeze on every vector of the Russian advance, and I think Russia underestimated what the Ukrainians would be capable of.
So you're in sync with these news reports. Now, Senator, I mean, is there anything we can do? The president obviously working miracles with Iran, or at least I think he is. I believe you're supporting him on this too. But with respect to Ukraine and Russia, I mean, maybe there's something. It just seems like we're at a pivotal point here. It just seems like the hinge is turning a little bit in that war.
I think it definitely is. I think the Russians are running out of steam, and as I said, most importantly, the home court advantage is real. I think most importantly for NATO to step up and the European nations to step up here. Obviously, we are trying to take out the world's largest sponsor of terror in the history of mankind. For the last 50 years, Iran's been wreaking havoc around the whole world, trying to protect Taiwan from China and keep all the oceans open around the world. I think the Europeans have to be the first and foremost line of defense and supporters for Ukraine. I think they have, and I hope they continue to be. And obviously, we've been supportive of Ukraine as the United States from the beginning. But I view this as primarily a European issue, and I think so far Ukraine has shown themselves to be absolutely capable of defending themselves and holding the Russians at bay.
Senator, would you hear anything about the Europe story and the G7 story coming out? Because you're right, it's primarily their issue. I know the president is often cross at them for not doing enough, but is there any new news? The G7, I mean, some of those countries are great. I know that, okay, Poland and some others, but most of the big ones aren't.
Yeah, I think our Nordic partners, Estonia is probably and
yes.
Poland, as you said, some of the shining partners there, that they really understand what those threats look like. But as you mentioned, so many of the others have been absent, and especially these latest campaigns against Iran, which, of course, the Iranian issue affects all of us. They want all of Western civilization gone. They don't just hate America. They want all free Western countries to be subjugated to their global caliphate. So we could have used a lot more help from Europe in the campaign thus far. I hope they do come to the table and be more supportive going forward, because their economies depend on oil and gas, just like China's does, just like America's does. And this enemy in Iran wants to wipe off the map every single Western civilization. Any free country based in capitalist free market principles, they want us gone. So it's a European problem just like an American problem, and I hope they help us out.
Senator, last minute, President is coming to your Senate lunch tomorrow, your policy lunch, or at least he's scheduled to. He's going to push the Save America Act. I think he's right. The whole country wants to see, voting rights reform and citizenship reform and so forth. The clock's ticking. I mean, is there any way we can get your whole party in the Senate to back him and, drive this thing through?
Well, to be clear, Larry, I think it's important we remind Americans the vast majority of Senate Republicans and House Republicans have voted in favor for this. I think 97% of Hill Republicans have voted in favor of voter ID, Save America Act, to include Susan Collins, who supported even versions of this as well. So it's the Democrats on the Hill who have refused to give us one single vote, Larry, to support common sense initiatives like voter ID, like securing our elections. 37 states already comply with the Save America Act. This is common sense. Colombia Colombia. Just this week, Colombia had an election for the new president. All paper ballots, all voting in person, all voter ID, biometrically confirmed. They had those ballots counted and election announced in 3 hours, not weeks. So we can do this. I think the most important thing for the president's lunch tomorrow is we are one team. The president and Senate Republicans need to align on a strategy to pass the SAVE Act, because you're absolutely right. We need it, and the American people want it.
Somebody told me, Senator, this is a throwaway line, but somebody told me India has an election, 600 million people vote in one day. 600 million people vote in one day, sir. Imagine that. In India, okay?
It can be done. Let's do it.
I know, it's terrific. Senator Tim Sheehy, as always. And again, sir, I thank you for your service. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Larry.
All right, folks, coming up, Latin America. It's another one. They're moving to the right. They're backing Donald Trump. Large numbers now. Left-wing, socialist, communist Brazil is being surrounded. Anyway, we'll talk about that and much more. We've got Liz Peek and Steve Forbes. And by the way, Trump's in Pennsylvania. Manufacturing is hot. We'll talk about that, too. And Kudlow, available as a podcast every weekday right after the show. We're hitting Spotify and Apple and FoxBusinessPodcast.com. I'm a podcaster, too. We'll be right back.